Hi guys, it's Rami Al-Bakri here. I am a partner and co-founder at Underdawg Industries. We're an innovation studio. So one, thank you for visiting the page and taking an interest in this Express workshop. The idea here is to help you guys have an even clearer view on what innovation is and how to systematically build it into your organization. What it isn't is sort of professing to try and teach you what innovation is or pretend that you haven't already innovated. Clearly you guys can already innovate. What the goal is though is to try and supercharge that. So a little bit about me and what I've done. I've spent sort of coming on to a decade and a half in the technology industry, primarily focused on either doing new products for startups or building startups. I've founded 3 companies of my own. Or working with large corporates to launch new products and new ventures. Some of the companies I've worked at include Bumble, which is pretty well known. Worked at a bunch of fintechs with Tandem and DuPay, Health Tech and Exy, and a number of others. Corporates include Unilever, Homebase, McLaren F1 is fun. The point being is I've seen a good array of companies at different stages of their innovation and life cycle. So I built up a good feel for how they individually might go about turbocharging innovation. For me, having gone through that journey, one of the biggest problems, having had either wearing my product owner, product manager, or eventually C-suite product hat, or as an entrepreneur, was that innovation was such a vast and ill-defined subject. It was very hard to get everybody in a room on the same page when you are attempting to systemize it and to build a framework of innovation within your company in order to make it more predictable, or at least the activities more predictable, versus kind of punting around and solving random problems that occasionally have a really great success. But if you really want to get serious and spin up parallel lines of innovation, we need to figure out what the map is. And so that's what I've spent a long time in the last couple of years trying to figure out, pulling together all of those different mental models, which they overlap, which is one of the things that makes it quite confusing. If you pull on design thinking or human-centered design or the lean startup or the customer development model, there are so many overlapping themes and even activities that when someone references one of them, you might be talking about the same thing, but it becomes hard to agree on exactly what you should do. And in particular, what does the life cycle of that inquiry look like? How do you go from I've got a job to be done or a problem I want to solve or a startup I want to build through to investigating it? And what does that investigation look like? So these are the things we've put together into a map. We've called it Launch. That's our framework for how we do our client services work, but it's also how we build our own internal ventures, which we're noodling away at the moment. And that, I haven't even touched on the fact that there's 65 definitions of innovation in peer-reviewed papers. So what we've done is just try and distill down at least our vision of what innovation is. So you don't have to agree at all, but it should at least help you highlight the areas where you object and where you don't agree, so you can tweak it and make it your own, but at least it gives you hopefully some scaffolding that you can take to your business to build your own vision of what innovation is. Why this talk? Well, frankly, I didn't think it was possible to fit it into 15 minutes, a view of what this could be. But I gave a talk to HSBC, their technology team, and it went over really well, had a great response, which I didn't expect. And also I was surprised, actually I did manage to fit in a decent amount of content in that 15-minute window. It just means you're skating through it, you're not going deep on anything. But I think as a first sweep, to give you the trunk of that tree of how we think about it, of innovation from start to how to roll out an innovation program, you can do it. And if you want to go deeper on any of those items, we can pick up the conversation in the background, or you can take it and discuss it amongst your own team. What you'll get out of it. So I guess it's a good time to actually bring up the page. So the key is it's a 15-minute webinar. It really will be fast. It'll feel fast. I have added another 15 minutes of Q&A. I typically don't have a really strict finish, but I appreciate you guys do. You're all busy. And attention is something that's in short order now. So we've tried to say 15 minutes, massive. So take a coffee break in between tasks, come join the webinar, the masterclass, and see what value you can get from it. So in that session, what we'll cover is how we define innovation, the key questions we're trying to answer when we think about innovation, and how to speed, in particular, the answering, well, the learning cycle to answer three key questions: the desirability, the feasibility, and the viability of any product or startup, or I guess innovation pursuit. Ways you might think about balancing that with your existing business and operations, how to get an increased amount of confidence that you are actually pinpointing the right problems to solve and that you're investing in the right areas. And then when you're ready to get more serious, how to go from an innovation line of inquiry on like one project to launching a full innovation program where you have parallel projects together. And then we'll touch on how you might train your team on innovation strategy. Again, in particular, what jumping from planning innovation to having innovation action looks like. So we'll cover all 6 of those things. Again, whistle stop tour. If you have questions and you want to go deeper, don't be shy. You can add me on LinkedIn or just reach us on get in touch on the main website. So the total time box, 30 minutes. That's because I've included the 15 minutes of Q&A. Drop off anytime you want. If you lose attention, that's fine. You're very welcome to come in as a skeptic and just see if it's going to be interesting or not. I welcome the critique. And then there's some other benefits for those people who stick around. So one is we'll have a handout to help you structure it for yourself. It's just kind of a guide on how you can think about implementing innovation throughout the company. There's obviously the follow-up Q&A. We do a discounted innovation audit. That's basically, we'll sit down with you, spend some time and figure out for your specific company and circumstances of where you are in terms of headcount, resources, where you are in your innovation journey, how sophisticated you already are, and how ambitious you are. What the kinds of things could you do that will help you, become more innovative, more predictably innovative with a systematic approach. So yeah, the final one is the launch framework handout. Like I said, this is our bespoke framework for how we think about actioning innovation in a predictable manner. It is our map for where we are and where we're trying to get to. So the launch framework and again, we can cover this in more detail in the session, but there's different phases: baselining, research, design, delivery, and grow. Again, those will be fairly familiar. And then under each of those, what we have is kind of specific lines or epics, however you might want, or categories. And then within each category, there is an activity, and every single activity would have a deliverable. Otherwise, why are you doing it? And we believe that together, this is a comprehensive end-to-end choice of activities that you can run in order to figure out whether something is, as I said before, desirable, feasible, and viable. So thank you for listening if you stuck around. I'm excited to speak to many of you in the future. So please join, sign up, and don't be shy in getting in touch before or afterwards. Thanks very much.